Él tiene experiencia en asuntos gubernamentales y relaciones con la industria de la construcción, lidera un equipo en Raleigh, North Carolina, y es director de Fundación RCI IIBEC, con una maestría en asuntos internacionales de American University y una licenciatura en periodismo y asuntos internacionales de la University of Southern California. Aporta un profundo conocimiento al cargo. Su liderazgo incluye presidir la Liga Estadounidense de Lobbyists y ser el actual presidente del Consejo Consultivo del Instituto Nacional de Ciencias de la Construcción. Demos un fuerte aplauso a Brian Pallasch.
Muchas gracias. ¿Solamente en español? ¿Está bien? No. Muchas gracias. Thank you, and Robert is in the back of the room as well. Robert Hinojosa is the incoming president of IIBEC. We are absolutely thrilled to be here today. I am thrilled the fact that you put this program on. Alejandrina, you almost stepped out of the room. You were hiding from me. The work that Alejandrina has done on our local activities for the Mexico chapter has been, or branch has been fantastic. So I want to thank her for that and thank the others in the room that have been doing that. So thank you all very much for what you're doing. I pledge that we will come back. I'm only here for a short time. I'd like to see some of the stuff I faintly remember when I was in Mexico City 30 years ago, like I said. I've got 10 minutes, so I'm going to be fast. A little bit about IIBEC. We are an international organization. We have members all over the world. I think Alec counts now 6 continents that we have members on. The majority of our members reside in the United States and in Canada. And as a result, we do spend a lot of time serving those members. But I'm pleased to report that we now have members in Mexico, and we want more members in Mexico, so we'll get to that. Just so we're clear, our purpose as IIBEC is to advance the profession of building enclosure consulting. And that is made up of architects, engineers, other design professionals. Sometimes we have roofing contractors and other contractors involved. We have manufacturers and their technical reps and their salespeople. That is this profession of building enclosure consulting. Our vision for IIBEC is that we want to be universally recognized as the leading authority in building enclosure consulting. And we think of the building enclosure as all 6 sides of the building. So we have the roof, and we're focused a lot on the roof today, but you've got the exterior walls, that's 4, and then you've got the waterproofing, which is the bottom, if you will, and the sub basement, if you will. So that's our focus. We have values. We focus and aspire to a set of values. We want ethical, independent, objective, and unbiased practice in building enclosure consulting. We want the design professionals to be alone in their decision-making, and by that I mean independent in their decision-making. As IIBEC, we want to pursue and exchange knowledge among all of you as building enclosure professionals. You guys are doing a great job of that today. These presentations have been fantastic. Even I've learned something, so that's good. And I am not an engineer or an architect, so it's easy for me to gain some knowledge. We also have a strong commitment to the profession and the industry. It's one of the reasons why we're here today. We want to grow this profession in this industry. And last but not least is, it was been touched on in a couple of the presentations, we do need to focus on sustainability as we look at the building enclosure, right? We need to make the materials more sustainable. We need to make buildings more sustainable. We need to lessen our footprint, if you will, our carbon footprint, as they say. A few things about IIBEC, those of you who are not familiar with IIBEC itself. You can always go visit us at iibec.org, IIBEC.org. That's our website. One of the key things for all of you as professionals is we have something called the Hub. On that hub, we have amassed all of the technical articles and papers from the last 20 or so years of the work that we have done in the building enclosure profession. It's all searchable, it's tagged, it's ready for you to learn more about this profession and to solve problems that you have on a daily basis. There we go. We publish a magazine starting in 2024, it'll be 9 times a year. That comes out. It's got 4 technical articles in it each month. in addition to some other things. So in a year, you're going to get about 40 technical articles, because we're going to do some digital articles as well, but you'll get those 36 articles on the monthly basis. It is also a source of information. You can access that publication on our website as well. We have other publications, some of which were somewhat referenced today. Certainly the subject matter was referenced today. We have an IIBEC manual of practice for building enclosure consulting. We do have a monograph, a publication that we've put together. The new one is going to come out called Wind Uplift Pressures on Low Slope Roofs. It's a very fancy title, but as you were hearing today in the presentations, that's an important topic. That publication is going to incorporate all of the changes that were made in ASCE 722, which is the main standard that focuses on wind load uplift. We have a publication that we produced a couple of years ago on roof drainage. Increasingly, you've got these large flat roofs. If it rains a lot and the rain patterns have changed, we need to make sure the rain gets off of the roof, right? Water's heavy, you do not want a roof collapse from a rainstorm. You can go to our website. Okay. We also have a convention. Some of you, how many of you have been to the IIBEC convention? I know a number of you have, so I can ask that question and not be embarrassed and have no one raise their hand. This year, the convention is close. It's only in Phoenix, Arizona, so that's a pretty quick flight for all of you. The convention consists of a trade show with about 130 to 150 booths. Those of you that have been to IRE, think of it as a smaller IRE. We spend a lot more time focused on the technical education. There are 24 technical sessions at that event that are focused on roofing, waterproofing, exteriors, and building commissioning. So I'd urge you all to take a look at that. The program is about to be released. Registration for that will open up in December. Okay. A key component of what IIBEC does, in addition to the technical education that we provide, in addition to the magazine that we have, etc., is our credentials. I know we have a few credential holders in the room today, so if you have a credential, you can be embarrassed and raise your hand. Thank you, Antide. I appreciate that. Maybe there's one, only one? So we have credentials in 7 different areas. The most prominent one that a lot of folks have, it's the most popular one, if you will, is a registered roof observer. These credentials demonstrate your knowledge and expertise in that given area. We are increasingly seeing owners require them in the U.S. on their projects. In Canada and a couple of the provinces, having an RRO on your job site is required to get the warranty for your roof. We also have a brand new certification credential this year called, it's the last one down there in the bottom, CBECXP, which is a mouthful, but it's on building commissioning. We are starting to see a lot more interest in the United States and Canada on commissioning. When you finish a building, does it actually follow the design? Does it perform the way in which it's supposed to perform based on the design that was put together by the architect, the engineer, and the building enclosure consultant? We launched that credential this year, and we now have 22 folks who have actually accomplished that, and they now have those initials after their name. So let me talk about one other aspect of why I think IIBEC is so important in this space of building enclosures and building enclosure consulting and in working with owners. We started a campaign last year to sort of educate the owner community, to explain to them what our members do. And we like to think of what IIBEC's members do as the first line of defense in your building, okay? Our members are experienced and credentialed. They're unbiased. They work on behalf of the owner. They want the building to perform the way in which it was intended. And we focus a lot on the ethical nature of our members and how they are therefore, we have a code of ethics, and there's a requirement to follow that code of ethics. From an owner's perspective, What do IIBEC consultants do? Well, first and foremost, we do design and specifications. So they work on how that building enclosure should be designed and what are the specifications to, in fact, get that building to the place it should be and perform the way in which it was intended. They also do forensic investigations. If there's a problem on the building, and they can usually find or sleuth out the reason or figure out the problem and then figure out a solution. Some of our members provide expert testimony. In the United States, we have a lot of lawyers, and therefore we have a lot of litigation on construction projects, and so many of our members do work on that. They do quality assurance, so you saw that registered roofing observer credential. A lot of what that work is making sure that the materials and the processes of construction are done properly so that that roof is performing. You saw in one of the earlier discussions this morning on the green roofs how they were doing flood testing on the roof, right? Well, that's some of what our members would do and observe. They also work on asset management, right? There's a life to these facilities, and having an owner understand what that life is important. And then last but not least, we talked about commissioning already. So with that, I am done. I suppose I can, if you'll let me, I'll take a question. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing some of you in Phoenix. I will also be at IRE, so I will see some of you there.